one of my Orca teammates, a woman named Penny Dean, who when she swam the English Channel in, I think it was 78, but I'm not sure. She went over an hour faster than anyone ever had. She was the
Wow.
first person. She was the first person to go under 8 hours, and she is a little slip of a thing.
Hmm.
But Siga, our coach, I only learned later that the reason she trained the uh, bejesus out of us was because she was afraid we would die. And
She
so
told you that afterwards.
Not on
she
my
actually
watch.
she,
Why are
she
we working
said
so hard?
that.
You just have to.
I learned that from an interview she did sometime in the 80s, I think. Uh,
Wow.
and
Method to her madness.
And this was not Siga was not with Orca, or was Siga with Orca?
Siga was the coach of Orca.
All
He's
right.
all
Mhm.
oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, go
No,
ahead.
I just wanted to back up then with Orca and the recovery time. Was this from Siga? I mean, I don't understand the recovery time. How long after you do a swim? I mean, what is that? Are you coming out of a coma? I mean, what do you? What is exactly that recovery time?
Well, the recovery time is like, so if you train just enough to finish this, to complete the swim, and you don't care what kind of condition you are in afterwards, it could take you weeks, months, either
Wow.
to recover from it.
Mhm.
But um, Siga wanted us to be able to, not to take have to take that long to get back to where we could swim again. Not that we wouldn't usually do another long swim. We'd have one swim that we would train for the summer, and that would be it. But then I think the year that Penny did set her record in the English Channel, a couple weeks later, she had to go swim the World Championships in England in Lake Windermere, and um, she got second, but so and probably had she not done the English Channel
She would have
beforehand, she
first.
probably would have won. But the person who beat her was another Orca swimmer, so that was kind of okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay.
Now, I have a
Part of the
question.
same
Yeah,
team.
go ahead, John.
With these groups, the Orca group and the other group.
Mhm.
Now, this is the same timeline as Naiad, right? What group was she with? And what
Naiad doesn't
school?
Naiad doesn't swim with a group. She
Oh, okay.
Naiad, one of the issues with Naiad is just her own thing, and she doesn't swim with anybody else. When she talks about her team and they're the people they're essentially her crew. They're all there for her, and they're not other swimmers. They're just people who were there to support her. You know, so
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, so how
I
many
was just
people are in
curious
Orca?
about
I'm
that.
curious too. How many people are in
Yeah.
Orca? I mean, when you say group, is it a group of 5, or a group of 50? I don't understand
this
the
was
groups.
this was a group of Orca was maybe 5, 6, 7 people,
Okay.
and they formally I believe this is how it started. Most of them were formerly young swimmers who swam for Siga in her age group pool program. She's a she's always been a wonderful kids coach,
Okay.
and they swam for her. And I think because I came in like a year or two after they'd started, they asked her to coach them, and they wanted to do ocean swims, and they asked her to coach them, and she did. And there were um it wasn't any more than 6 or 7, I think.
Okay.
And then she may have
Which
coached.
makes sense because it's an extreme sport. My question is, how many other small groups across the country and abroad, if you know offhand, were there at the time? Or is this all, no one even thought about doing these giant swims?
Well, some people were doing long swims, but I don't think it was organized at all. Like it is now, there's lots of different groups around who do these, but I don't know of anyone who was doing it in an organized way back then. Like if you look at who was swimming Catalina. Now, the number of people who swum Catalina is a small fraction of those who have swum the English Channel. I think it's maybe up to 200 or 300 now for Catalina.
Okay.
If you look at who swam it back then in the 70s, it's almost all Orca or Seven Seas from that was Lynn's team, Seven Seas, and
Okay. Yeah.
I
Didn't see seven C's.
it may all be members of those two teams. And with the double, there had only been one double crossing. It was done in the 50s. I think it was I'm not going to remember her name. It's terrible. But the next 4 or 5 people who did it were all Orca swimmers. And there just weren't that many people who wanted to go there and back.
I could see that because that's remarkable. Even just to think about it. Hey, let's just like what?
Well, I can't let that go without saying something about Sara Thomas, who a couple of years ago did, maybe it was it 5 years ago already, did the first 4-way crossing of the English Channel. So
There, back, there, and back.
there and back and there and back.
Jeez Louise.
And fast. I mean,
Wow.
so
Where is she from?
she's
Sara
from
Thomas.
Colorado. She
Okay.
lives in Colorado, and I think trains mainly in the lakes there.
Okay. Now, really quick. So you were training both with Seven Seas and Orca, is that correct? Or did you
Yeah.
just kind of? Oh, all right. So you did. And were these like infighting groups? Were they like really competitive teams against each other, or just I want to train
Compete
with
against yourself?
her? And yeah, how is it? I just kind of understand the community.
Oh no, it was all marathon swimmers are all very supportive of each other, except for one. But
Mr. One.
There's got to be
Just
more
like-
than there's got
I
to be
know
more
the
than
one.
one. All right, we'll get
yeah,
to
they're
it.
very supportive of each other. And no, there wasn't infighting or
No bar fights.
no.
that.
I think it was just a slight difference in the theory behind the training.
Another question I have regarding just the community was any of this paid, or was everybody volunteering? Everybody just
Well-
did this on their spare time, or was there?
You mean for the swimmers? You mean?
Well, the
The
swimmers and the coach,
competition did
everybody.
it win a
How did
prize.
how
or
did it
anything?
organize on its own? Did it just everybody just decided to get together, or was there some money behind it? Just wonder how the culture got created.
It's
The
so
groups.
small,
Did you
I would-
pay?
I
Did you
would-
pay your instructors, your coach?
We paid the coach.
Okay.
Okay.
How much did they charge you? She had 7. Let's say Sigaros had 5 to 7. How much is she getting paid for this?
I don't remember. This was
Okay.
How old was Sigaros at the time?
But you had a day job, is the bottom line. Yeah.
Well, hold on
Yeah,
one second,
yeah.
Greg. What was how old was Sigaros at the time when she was coaching? Do you know
I-
roughly?
I'm not sure. I really get.
Well, all right. So it was the 70s, right? Was she like much older than you, the same age? That's kind of what I'm trying to figure out.
Oh no. She was. I want to say a little older than me. Maybe could still have been in her 20s, maybe 30s.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then Greg, you're asking about how. Yeah. Go ahead about his. What were you doing as your day job? Is what Greg?
Yeah,
was asking.
that's what I'm just curious. So everybody
Mm-hmm.
that was paying obviously had another source of income besides that. They weren't making money from doing swims. There was no prize money or anything like that.
No,
just
although
for the
there
sake
was
of doing it.
there was a professional swimming circuit at the time, but I think the only one of us who ever did that was Penny. So, but yeah,
And he got paid to win to do certain swims. Is that what you mean?
if they placed high enough. Yes, they would
Okay.
get paid.
And,
And
who
one
would
of-
pay them? That's what I'm trying to find
Oh,
out. Where'd the money
well,
come from?
There were race organizers who it was like any other professional sport. I guess they get sponsorships.
Yeah,
and
that's what I was
stuff.
thinking. Sponsors. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, you don't get a big crowd. It's hard to imagine. It's not like a racetrack where you can watch
Or
everything
did you?
happening. Well, maybe you did. I mean, it's just kind of lonely. You're just out there doing your thing, and or am I
Well,
We're
wrong?
trying to get visual for. We don't
Yeah.
understand any of this. Okay, so
For
tell
the-
us what is the scene? Set the scene stage for us. We want to know. We want to know what it looks like. how do you start? Is there a bunch of people cheering you to get in the water, and then when they're cheering when you get out? We just don't understand any of this.
Well, for like my first 10-mile swim, that wasn't a paid thing. There was no prize money. You got in the water at 5:30 or 6 in the morning at Huntington Beach, and
Fun.
there was no one around. You know,
Okay.
it was maybe some family and friends. And then when you finished, uh, there was there was a big they had other races there at Seal Beach, like a mile and a 3 mile, and there were all these other people there doing these other races, but it wasn't a huge thing. But if you did um the professional races, there were big crowds, and they organized it so that, or for some of them anyways, they organized it so that there could be crowds, and that's
Right.
how they made some of their money. Like the first race that Naiad did was a 10-miler in Lake Ontario. And now she will often say the race was across the lake. But it was actually 20 times around a half-mile loop near shore in Hamilton, Ontario.
Hey, if you like these kind of conversations and you'd like to see more, click like and subscribe to our channel. And if you're at the computer and you'd like to hear the whole podcast, click right here.